Hello learners, welcome to your favorite e-learning platform Pathshala. I'm Savita Chauhan, your mathematics mentor. Let's just start a new chapter today which is called as quadratic equations. So let's just talk about some of the polynomials that we have actually learned in the previous chapter. We are aware about the polynomials which are either of the formation this, either of the formation this or this. So we already are aware about what are the polynomials and how we can represent them. But let us suppose if we are talking about this type of a polynomial, we have Rx is equal to ax square plus bx plus of c. Such a type of a polynomial do have a special name which is actually called as nothing but a quadratic polynomial. We all are aware about what are the quadratic polynomials, as the quadratic polynomials are those in which the highest degree of the variable is nothing but 2. So as we can see over here, Rx is equal to ax square plus bx plus of c do have the highest degree of the variable x as nothing but 2. So it means that this is nothing but a quadratic polynomial. So what are the quadratic equations? So if we are talking about equations, we do know that in an equation we do have three things, that is LHS, RHS and a sign of equality within. So let's just talk about the quadratic equations, that what are the quadratic equation. So the definition for the quadratic equation is a quadratic equation in the variable x is an equation which is of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c are any real numbers with a condition that coefficient of x square, which is a, cannot be equal to 0. Such a type of equation is called as the quadratic equation. So it means we are actually taking the quadratic polynomial is equal to 0, because the quadratic polynomial was of the type ax square plus bx plus c. So whenever we will take ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, then such a formation is called as the quadratic equation. So always remember, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is called as the quadratic equation, and the condition for the quadratic equation is a, b, c are any real numbers and a cannot be equal to 0. That is, the coefficient of x square cannot be equal to 0. Let's just see some of the examples related with it. So if we are talking about 2x square plus x plus 4 is equal to 0, obviously the highest degree of the variable x is nothing but 4. Again, in this particular equation, x square minus 8x plus 10 is equal to 0. We have the highest degree of the variable x is nothing but 2. Then this is called as nothing but the quadratic equation, because we have a sign of equality within and there is an LHS, there is an RHS. So such a formation or such an equation is nothing but called as the quadratic equation. So let us suppose if we are moving further on and talking about the standard form of quadratic equation. What is the meaning of the standard form of quadratic equation? Now, as per the definition of quadratic equation, it is clear to us that whenever we are taking the quadratic polynomial is equal to 0, it means we are talking about the quadratic equation. So let us suppose if we are again talking about the same definition, that any equation which is of the form px is equal to 0, where px is a polynomial of the degree 2, it is called as the quadratic equation. And in the quadratic equation, if we'll arrange the terms in the formation of or in the form of descending order of their degree. So for an instance, I'm talking about a quadratic equation, and if in a quadratic equation we'll arrange the terms according to the descending order of the degree of the variable. For an instance, I'm talking about this, as we have ax square plus bx plus c is equal equal to 0. We can see the degree of the x is nothing but 2. Then the degree is actually descending. We have x raised to the power 2, then we have x raised to the power 1, then we have x raised to the power 0. So we have arranged the terms of the quadratic equation in such a way that the descending, or we can say that we have the descending order of the degree of the variable x. Such a formation is actually called as the standard form of the quadratic equation. So always remember, whenever we are talking about the equation or a quadratic equation in the formation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where we are talking about the descending, or where we have taken the descending order of the degree of the variable x and we have arranged them in such a pattern, then such a formation is called as the standard form of the quadratic equation. So always remember, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is called as the standard form of the quadratic equation, with a condition a cannot be is equal to 0.